We've all been told our whole lives that as long as you try your best, that's what really counts. It's the advice we give our kids, it's what we tell ourselves. But today, we're going to flip that idea completely on its head. We're going to explore why that little word try might actually be setting you up for failure. Seriously, think about it. What if try isn't a word about effort at all? What if it's really just an excuse? A little mental loophole we create that gives us permission to not get the job done. That's the core idea we're digging into today, and it comes straight from our source material. All right, so first up, the problem with trying. To really get why the alternative is so powerful, we have to break down why this word, which sounds so positive, is actually holding us back. What this really boils down to is a clash between two completely different ways of thinking. On one side, you've got the trying mindset, which is all about your intentions and how much effort you put in. And on the other side, you have the doing mindset, which cares about one thing and one thing only, the outcome. Oh man, we've all heard this one, right? At least you tried. It sounds so nice and encouraging, but our source material points out that this simple phrase, which we hear from the time we're kids, subtly teaches us something kind of dangerous. That effort is a perfectly fine substitute for actually getting results. It basically tells us that's okay to give up as long as we can say we tried. And that kind of conditioning leads us straight to our second point, the mindset of excuses. This is where we see how trying becomes less about hitting our goals and more about protecting our own ego by building in an excuse before we even fail. Okay, so check out how this slide defines the trying mindset. It's not a state of action, it's a gray, ambiguous state. It's this fuzzy mental space we go into when we want to kind of, wash our hands of responsibility. It's almost like a form of self-deception that gets us ready for the possibility of just giving up. And here's the absolute kicker. When you say, I'll try to finish the report, you're not just saying what you plan to do. You are literally building an excuse right into the sentence. You're giving yourself and everyone else an out before you've even started the work. All right, enough about the problem. Let's talk about the solution. It's time to introduce this powerful alternative, the doing mindset. Now, this gets right to the heart of the source material. It's all about a simple shift in language and attitude. Instead of just trying, the original text says you need to get to work. It's a direct command for action, not just a statement of intention. It's about getting out of your head and just doing. The doing mindset, on the other hand, is just crystal clear. It's a state of pure discipline where excuses literally have no place to hide. They just don't exist. The focus is 100% on execution. So what happens when you make this switch? Well, that brings us to our next section, which is all about the incredible outcomes. When you adopt this mindset, you get three things: total clarity, unwavering commitment, and the most important part, you get results. Just look at this contrast here. It's night and day. The trying mindset, it's all gray area. It lets you dodge responsibility, and it measures your effort. The doing mindset is the total opposite. It's binary, yes or no. It forces you to take ownership, and it measures only one thing: is it complete? So you got to ask yourself, are you just putting in the hours, or are you actually getting it done? And in the end, it all comes down to this one question. In the doing mindset, there is no almost. There's no I tried really hard. There is only one thing that matters. Is it done, or is it not? This simple black and white focus just erases all the gray area and forces you to face the real outcome. So how do we actually do this? How do we make the shift? Let's wrap this all up with a really clear, actionable takeaway you can literally start using the second this is over. Okay, it's a super simple three-step process. First, just start paying attention. Notice how many times a day you say the word try. Second, consciously replace it. So instead of I'll try to go to the gym, you say I will go to the gym or I am going to the gym. And finally, shift your whole mental focus to that binary outcome. Judge yourself not on the effort, but on whether or not it got done. Period. And that's the last question I want to leave you with. Take a look at your to-do list, your big goals, the promises you've made. What is one thing you're going to stop trying to do and instead just commit to doing, starting right now?